Chapter 6 Escape Klemos.
It's been a long time, Jerious.
The voice of Nezron echoed within Jerious' head.
Impossible,
Jerious said, standing up.
No more impossible than the many times you yourself escaped death.
Nezron spoke in a low, hoarse tone, full of mocking animosity with each word.
I killed you,
Jerious said, walking to his spellbooks.
And yet here I am.
I sacrificed your soul. You simply can't exist, Jerious said aggressively, snatching a specific book from his bookshelf.
Oh, I am quite real, I assure you. We're going to have a lot of fun together. Here, have a little taste of the fun we will have.
Arthritis pain surged through his right hand, causing Jerious to drop the book and clutch his suffering hand with his left hand.
You should not be able to do this. You couldn't even get rid of his voice in your head, which was put there by a psychic you created. I was put here by the goddess Loth herself. I can assure you that I can do far more harm than this tiny little pain you feel now.
Jerious dropped to his knees from the pain intensifying.
See? I can increase and decrease your sensations however I see fit. I own you now, Jerious.
Nezron laughed a little. The pain stopped suddenly. Jerious straightened his face and stood back up normally. And why did you stop the pain?
You didn't, Jerious,
Jason said.
I turned it off.
Why? I thought you were delighted by my suffering, Jerious said, picking his book up and taking it to the table to flip through the pages. Because I'm the one who is to be in control, not some phantom from your past mortal life.
Jerious, your creation cannot hold me forever. I never need to rest and will never stop. I will seize every opportunity I can to torture you.
Jerious ignored the second voice in his head. He started the arduous process of memorizing the daily spells. Inside the mind of Jerious Kane, Jason sat in a room full of pipes, cords, panels, bearing buttons and various viewing screens revealing countless images and memories. This room had many doors along every wall. The room itself was larger than a courtyard of a massive castle. He sat on top of a pillow facing three particular viewing screens. The screens were not made of plastic, glass, metal, or any perceivable hard object. They were akin to vertical standing water. The left screen revealed the direct ocular information from Jerious. Under this left screen were four other panels. The first panel was a speaker that had constant sound exiting from it. This was what Jerious heard. The second panel was labeled Smell, the third Taste, the fourth Touch. The middle screen was revealing two separate images. The first was of a castle within the desert. The second showed a strange swirl of colors. The right watery screen was completely black. Behind Jason was a cage made of spectral glowing green energy. Inside of that cage was Nezron, clad in armor. Nezron sat patiently. No anger expression rested on his face. Nezron stared at Jason.
Tell me, Metamind,
Nezron pronounced sarcastically.
Why would you allow me to be here?
So you do have cognitive ability and not just a set of orders to follow, Jason said without turning around. Nezron looked around the outside of his prison. He saw the tubes and pipes. Nezron took mental note of the switches connected to various intervals.
I like how you've made this so very convenient to tinker with his mind.
Jason waved his hand across the screen, showing the castle. The image changed to show a forest. Yes, I did rearrange things. Some things here. It is why so easy for you to activate imaginary pain in his hand.
Does that make him easier to control?
Nezron asked. Jason waved his hand again, altering the image to show a close-up view of the moon of Corvus. I don't need to control him. He does what I want him to do on his own accord.
That is a foolish mistake, and you know it. You know he'll kill you the first chance he gets,
Nezron said. Jason lowered his hand, standing up, turning around. He walked to the cage, looking directly into Nezron's eyes. Jerious quite literally has everything he wants. You're the fool to believe that Loth actually has a hold of him. Nezron laughed.
You sound delusional.
Do I? I've searched through his memories. Every single time someone believed they control him, like Orcus, for example. In truth, Jerious wanted that. Sure, he had no idea it was going to happen, yet everything went his way, didn't it?
The gods have his sword. Pale Knight took his warlock powers and youth. I could steal his concentration on a whim if I weren't in this cage, thus hindering his magic. You control his life and functions. How could anything possibly be the way he wants it to go?
Nezron scoffed. Jason pointed his finger at Nezron with a determined look on his face.
He now has you.
Nezron contorted his face in confusion. Jason retracted his hand and returned to the screens. He sat back down.
I wonder how long you can hold this cage up for,
Nezron asked. 45 more minutes, Jason carelessly answered. Nezron laughed.
Aren't you worried about me taking over our little home here when it wears off?
No, Jason shrugged.
Why is that?
Nezron asked. Because anything you do will be inconsequential. Jason waved his hand, altering the image.
That doesn't make any sense. From here, I can control everything. I can alter his perception, memories, actions. I can make his heart stop.
You could if I didn't alter how things work, Jason said.
All you've done is change the screens you're watching since I got in here,
Nezron protested. Sure, this me has, Jason said, waving his hand again. The screen changed to show a scene of white pillars and a white marble floor within a clouded place. Nothing but a sky and beautiful clean white marble structures were seen.
I found it,
Jason whispered. A second Jason walked into the room. You can't do much because while he, the new Jason pointed to the sitting one, has been searching for something, I've been altering how to interact with his brain. Nezron's mouth gaped open.
You schismed?
Yes, I remastered that last night while Jerious was being tortured by Loth and you again. And standing next to Jason, vanished. I've dismissed that power. No need for it.
Once your power's been expended and this cage falls down, how do you intend on preventing me from putting you in one?
Nezron said. Jason didn't respond. He held his hand in front of the screen showing a sky palace. Jason brought his thumb and pointer finger closer together without touching. The screen zoomed in, enlarging the view. He twisted his hand, moving it up and down. The image on the screen moved forward, traveling inside of the sky palace. On the inside, everything was vast and endless. Inside, countless winged, armored figures walked and floated all about. Some had books that they read, others were in meditation. Most conversed with one another. Jason dismissed the image entirely.
Could that possibly be?
Nezron struggled to word his realization. Jason turned back to Nezron. Celestia. Jason smiled. Jerious closed the book, placing it back on the bookshelf.
My spells are prepared.
Just in time, too. Nezron will be free any moment, Jason said.
You and I both know that it isn't Nezron, but a copy based on my memories, Jerious said. I'm real enough.
The spectral cage vanished, freeing Nezron. He rushed over to the same switch he moved earlier. He clutched it, turning the valve to the on position.
How does it feel, Jerious?
How does what feel? Jerious' voice echoed in the room. I told you, Nezron, that I could change how things work here, Jason said from a place that Nezron could not see.
I'm guessing he tried something and is now confused as to why nothing happened, even though you explained it to him beforehand,
Jerious said. Correct, Jason said.
With this level of incompetence, Loth did a good job making him.
Nezron spun around looking for Jason.
And just how would I be here, even if I cannot control him, possibly benefit him?
Nezron yelled out to Jason. Well, there would be no fun in telling you, Jason said. Jerious held his hands up.
Tucklerist!
His old voice cracked the magic words. He vanished from sight. The planet Titanus. A dead city in a dead world. No life existed here, only dead and undead. The last city to fall to the horrific invasion from one demon lord Orcus. The endless undead stood motionless, having fulfilled their last order, which was to kill every living thing on Titanus. Jerious appeared on top of the dead city, surrounded by dead Klemos. He smiled. The undead in every direction noticed him immediately. The original order to kill was reinstated by his arrival. They shambled in his direction with the intent to kill. A magical green flutter swirled around the wizard. The magic left a trail as it revolved around him. He held his hand out. The magic stood on his palm. The old wizard looked up to the incoming ghouls.
Obey!
He shouted with his hoarse tone. Yelling was painful, but needed here. The ghouls stopped at his command.
Kill angels!
The new command was ordered. The magic left his hand and spread like a wave in every direction out over the endless army that Jerious claimed.
It is nice to have my old necromancy back.
He continued to hold his old man's smile. Looking down, Jerious noticed the dead Klemos.
Perfect.
The green magic returned to his palm. Pointing the magic down at the corpses, he chanted his command to those bodies.
Arise, my servants. I bestow Zincarla upon thee.
Their dead limbs twitched at first, but slowly recombined to working fashion. The loose muscle and rotted flesh switched back together in the needed places. Jerious bent down to the first Klemo, touching the body's forehead, caused his own eyes to turn white as the necromancy surged from him to the dead teleporter. The first Klemo rose. Each Klemo Zincarla was done in this exact same fashion.
4 dozen,
Jerious said to himself. How can you make 4 dozen Zincarlas, but Orcus could only make 3? Jason asked.
Do you remember how Grotz was clueless as to just how powerful my sword actually is, and therefore could only muster less than 1% of its true power?
Jerious said. Yes?
Exact same thing. Also, I could make way more than 4 dozen Zincarlas, but that doesn't matter right now.
What does matter right now?
Getting my sword back. Show me the image of Celestia.
The city of Klemo. How do we kill him? Junior was the first to ask. Gray shrugged her shoulder, lifting up her arm. Her injured arm was already in the process of growing back due to the spell magic healed her with.
How the fuck should I know?
Twinkle stood fully erect, no longer leaning against the wall. He unfolded his arms as he talked. First, we have to identify him. Obviously, he's a Klemo, but how is he doing this? I was wondering the same myself. It would appear that he has been kidnapping our brothers and sisters and somehow turning them into himself, Magic said. How did you figure that out? Junior asked. Well, aside from the fact that he said he will consume us, Twinkle witnessed him attack 2 Klemos in the street just before he encountered him. Also, Magic didn't bother to finish the sentence. His eyes opened wide with alarm, as did the other 3. They drew their weapons. Gray was only using one arm. Her injured arm still needed time. Portals opened up in every direction, randomly, all around. Those awful tentacles protruded out, attacking as they did. The 4 defended themselves as they have been doing for days now. A stream of light exited one of those portals. The light was in the shape of a person. Junior stabbed into it, immediately refusing to give this new threat a chance.
Klemo!
The person-shaped light exclaimed. Through the heat of the battle, Junior recognized that voice. He did not slow down his attack on the tentacles.
Theresa, is that really you? Klemo, I've been looking for you for days. I finally found you. I'm astral projecting here. There's no time.
Theresa's astral projection said. The 4 Klemos dispatched the remaining tentacles in a matter of seconds. All but one portal closed. Magic had his hand outstretched, his face straining. I can't hold that portal open much longer. The moment it closes, her astral projection will disappear.
How did you know that?
Gray asked. With his face struggling and sweating, Magic spat out response.
I'll explain later. Theresa, don't come here. This place is a death trap right now,
Junior warned.
I'm not trying to get myself in. I'm trying to get you out.
Theresa's astral projection formed a face showing her feminine features.
How?
Junior asked.
Just teleport through my astral projection. If I could astral project here through this tiny open portal, you could teleport out using the same logic,
Theresa said. Gray and Twinkle said nothing. They wasted no time in teleporting out through the small escape hole. Junior looked puzzled.
But how? Damn it, Junior, we could talk later. Trace Twinkle's teleportation and do what he did,
Magic said through gritted teeth. Junior closed his eyes, scanning the surrounding area with his psychic mind. The teleport knowledge entered his brain. Junior copied it and then vanished from sight. Magic detected another teleport from inside of the room. It was right behind him. Magic knew what that was. The thought dragged into his mind. Red. Magic didn't take another second. He teleported through this escape. Twinkle and Gray were the first to appear next to the physical form of Theresa, who sat on a large pillow meditating inside of a wooden room with no windows and a singular door. The two took in their surroundings with their weapons already drawn. I think it's safe here, Twinkle remarked. Junior appeared. Gray nodded her head in agreement with Twinkle's comment. They continued to scan the room. Junior rushed to Theresa to hug her. He stopped himself at the moment in fear of disturbing her astral projection. Junior sat next to her. Both Magic and Red appeared at the same time in the middle of the room.
Red!
Magic alarmed the others. Twinkle teleported behind the intruder to stab him in the back. Red backflipped behind Twinkle before Twinkle even materialized. Red attempted to stab Twinkle.
Fo throff!
Magic screamed the spell to place an invisible barrier between Red and Twinkle. Red stabbed into the invisible barrier, shattering his sword.
Ha!
He laughed as his own weapon broke. Theresa opened her eyes, ending her astral projection. She screamed alone, Klemo! Her reunited friend refused to leave her side. Junior clutched his sword, vision ready to defend Theresa.
I won't let him hurt you.
But he is you. Why is he attacking you? She asked.
I don't know, and right now I don't care, Junior said.
Theresa stood up from the pillow. Well, he is attacking your friends. We have to help. Junior turned back to her. I just found you. I'm not losing you this fast. Theresa pushed Junior out of her way, running to assist Magic, Gray, and Twinkle. Red's additional 4 arms deflected strikes from both Gray and Twinkle. Magic was in the middle of preparing a spell to cast. Theresa flew through the air, kicking Red in the face. Red fell back, caught off guard. 3 of his weapons fell from his hands. Gray seized the opportunity and stabbed Red in the upper right arm, pinning him to the ground. We are far from even, bastard, Gray triumphantly declared to her wounded opponent. Red laughed, showing no sign of pain. What is this? Do you believe this will hold me? Twinkle teleported in, stabbing Red through the leg, pinning him just like Gray's sword. What about this? He asked. I'm going to kill you for and absorb your psychic energy just like the others, Red declared. Junior,
prevent him from teleporting away, Magic said.
Junior Klemo nodded his agreement, then focused his psychic power to create an anti-teleport zone around Red's body. Magic looked down at Red on the ground.
Dortak!
Magic cast the spell. Real physical daggers appeared in the air above Magic. They thrust down, controlled by his will, plunging straight into Red's remaining unhindered limbs. Red made no facial gesture indicating he was hurt.
Did that even hurt him? Twinkle asked. Right now, I don't care if he feels pain. I want answers from him, Magic said. Sure, I'll tell you whatever you want to know, especially since it won't matter. You'll die by my hand, Red said. Yes, and you'll absorb our psychic energy. We already know this, Gray said.
Magic held up his hand to Gray, trying to keep her calm and silent. She reluctantly stepped back.
Listen, Red. What has hindered escape from our city? How the fuck should I know? Red said. Describe why and, more importantly, how you will drain our psychic energy, Magic said. With pleasure. First, after I kill you, I will crack open your skull and stick my hands deep inside of your brain tissue. My hands will convert into a sort of suction apparatus. I will then literally drain all of your knowledge and experience into myself.
Red paused to gauge their reactions. They all had mortified expressions, causing him to smile.
The reason for this is obvious. To be more, every single Klemo is insignificant. However, as a whole, we are the strongest thing in the multiverse. Just imagine how every Klemo is unique in their own way. Now imagine just one person having all of those talents, skills, and abilities. Oh, you don't have to imagine, do you? You're looking right at it.
How many Klemos have you killed and absorbed like this? Red twists his lips, pondering.
42,612.
You could do everything they can do, Magic asked.
That and more. You see, Mies.
Psychic energy is a very interesting thing. It can be molded and changed. While there is no Klemo that can split their being into multiple copies of themselves, I can use that psychic energy to do just that and far more. Wait, if you have all of their powers and more, why haven't you invaded our minds or disfigured our bodies with a thought? Twinkle asked.
Because the brain is a delicate thing. I wouldn't want to go into your mind because I could accidentally damage something I want. No, when I go in your head, it will be just as I described.
Do you know what has a stranglehold over the city? Because I don't believe it's you, Red, Magic asked.
Theresa spoke up. Dagon has done all of this and more.
The Demon Lord Dagon? Magic asked without taking his eyes off of Red.
He was a Demon Lord. Now he's a god,
Theresa said. Everyone turned to her with surprise. Klemo lost his concentration for a moment. That moment was enough for Red to disappear. The sounds of their blades landing on the floor was all that was heard.
Fuck! He teleported away. Everyone, I'm sorry,
Junior said. Gray and Twinkle snatched up their weapons, preparing to continue the fight. Everyone looked around nervously.
We need to go now, Magic said. City of Overby, Gray ordered.
They all vanished from the room, all but Junior and Theresa. He grabbed her by the hand and teleported them to the city of Overby. End of Chapter 6.